Hey, everybody, it's your lovely Lotus Blossom Lizzie, and this is the second part of our How to Make It Easy Junk Journal. And today we are going to be selecting papers to go into this beautiful cover that we made in the last video. So if you missed that, you can go back in the playlist and you can check that out. And also, if you like videos like this, please make sure that you subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when more videos come out. Give it a thumbs up, and I always like comments, and I will answer any questions that you may have about this. So this is the book that I made, and I made this for myself because my current junk journal is very full now and I'm ready to move on. And this is Women Aboard, and I can't remember all the details about it, but we have the cover all done. Like I said, we did this in the last video, and it's still very barren, but we have some nice fabric for our spine, and then we have like the inside, we have a book fabric book cover here to go in the inside. So we're going to put these aside because we don't really need these for today's video. So let's put these aside. And I just took out just tons and tons of papers that we may or may not use. I don't know. And we're going to embellish them as well. Oh, let's get back on camera. So these were the original pages that we took out. I'm definitely going to keep this because it is the library card holder here. And I was able to remove the pages really easily. So I think when I take this apart, I may be able to get some of the pages out. Yeah, I'll be able to get some of the pages out. And it has some cool illustrations in it as well. So I'm going to probably use some of these. And then this is some coffee dyed tracing paper that I made. And I made it a while back. I didn't even remember I had it, to be honest with you. We have some very cool vintage music sheets. We have lots of those in here. I also pulled out some envelopes because I always have tons of envelopes that you can get these so easily at thrift stores. And then this is actually computer printer paper. It's just a designer computer printer paper, and it's blank on the outside, which is fine because once I get done with my junk journal, there's no white spaces anyway. And then we have some graph paper. We have some coffee dyed paper that I made, and you can pick up some of this in the shop as well if that's something that you're interested in. And this is a book cover from another book that I dismantled, and I've just been saving it because it has lots of pretty colors and it's shiny. I don't know if I'm going to use it or not. I have some time cards. I love using the time cards, so I'm thinking I can do something interesting with the time cards. And we have just a page from a Time Life encyclopedia book, and it has some nature scenes on it, so I thought I might use that as well. And then I just took a whole book of my music pages out. When was this made? These are from, they have it in Roman numerals, so I think it is either 1910, I believe these are from. So that's cool. I like those. It's very detailed music sheets. Then we have some graph paper here. It has some loose graph paper. This is a certificate sheet that I may or may not use. We have some more computer paper, and I liked it because it had like the florals on it. And it's blank on one side, but it's just regular copier paper. And you can see this one looks like some glue or something got on it, but I can still use that. And this is some tracing paper too, and it came in this really huge notebook that I had, and I've just been using it in the journals because it has some interesting tracings in here. And so I thought I would use that. That would make a wonderful background. And we have some vellum that I bought like in 1919 and never used it. And I have some more here. I paid 29 cents at, I'm sure this was Hobby Lobby clearance, but like, again, I had that forever, so I would like to use some of that old stuff up. And then we have some children's book pages, and I also pulled out some of the text pages because I like those also. And let's put those over here. And this came from a little, like a planner book. It was a calendar book, and I dismantled that as well. And so I kept these pages, even though they're just the calendar, but they still make a fantastic background. And then we have some pages from a Disney encyclopedia book that I got, and they were just in horrible condition, and I dismantled those as well, and I have plenty of these. So of course I love the colors that come from the kids books also, so I just pulled out a few of those sheets. And that's what you kind of have to do. You kind of just have to pull things out and then kind of take it from there. I just wasn't able to my mind wasn't in a space where I could just go and just pick things out and know exactly what I was going to use. So sometimes your books just kind of come together. They just fall into place. And then this was from an old ledger book, and I'm thinking that I may or may not use this because the pages in some spots are very brittle. It already has some writing on it. Somebody wrote Sears Roebuck, due 14th, page 5. I guess they were trying to get their bills together. And then we have some pages from an atlas. And I always love atlas and map pages. They're super fun to use. And I decided to use like some of the index pages also, because I'm a creature of repetition. I love repetition, and I love the white and the yellow in the pages. So some people might just see this as an ordinary text page, but it has like red writing, and I like the repetition of the pages, so I'm going to use that. Here's another atlas page here. And then we have just a yellow envelope. I took out a glassine bag. And this page came from a coin book. So a coin binder. So I like the grid paper, the grid pages on there, and it's blank on one side. And then this came from a composition book, and it's grid paper as well. So it's that repetition thing I think I'm drawn to. Then we have some children's writing pages, and I always like including these in my books. I don't know why, but I do. And everything looks so plain right now, but once we start decorating, it's really going to come to life. And here's some more tracing pages in here. I really pulled out a lot of tracing pages, so I think I'm going to have to use those. And then this was like an old grungy sheet that I had stashed away. It's just cardstock, and I think I had attempted to coffee dye it in. It didn't come out that well, but I think it would be great. It's a nice vibrant color. I wanted to put some vibrant colors in here as well. Some more cardstock. I just pulled out a few cardstocks. This is another one that I kind of toned down. And then I took out some paper pads, because I didn't know if I was going to use anything in the paper pads, but I just wanted to kind of put some pops of color in here. So I just thought I would take out the paper pad and see if maybe there were some pages that I would like. Now this is kind of one of those, it's not a tearaway sheet, but you can like cut things out. But I think what I'm going to do is maybe use a few of these and just leave them whole and just cut them to the size that I need. So I'm going to just take out a few of these. If I don't use them, I can put them back. And I'm not sure if I'm going to use that at all anyway. I love that rose pattern there. Let's see. We don't want black. And I don't think I want that one. Okay. So let's see. And then I had this paper pad that I've had since the beginning of time as well. And it's a really whimsical and fun pad. And I think I'm going to use some pages out of here. I think I want to maybe try this one, and I saw another one that I want. I like that too, though. And this one. I don't know, I'm kind of gravitating to the green. Green is not real. I don't think I have a favorite color, but I think right now green is kind of sitting with me. Okay, these actually came from a different paper pad. And let's just take that too. Got that repetition thing going. So those are the pages that we are going to be working with in here. And this should give you some ideas of some pages that you can use for yourself for your own books. After I figure out what type of pages that I'm going to be using, I want to figure out, like, just preliminarily, I know that's not a word, but for the preliminary run through of putting the pages in, I might want to decorate some of the pages before I actually sew them into the signature. So I pulled out a few things that I may want to put on the pages before I actually put the signatures in. I don't want to get too involved, but I just pulled out a few things that I might use. So I had these seam bindings, and I had a big bag of them, and I didn't even realize it. And of course I got these at a thrift store, and they're like really pretty. Let me just try to hold these up. Tons of stuff in my lap here, y'all. And so this is kind of like, it looks like a fabric that was just cut. Maybe whatever store had these, they decided they would sell like the remnants of these. And then this one has like some florals on it, and again some florally and some, oh, these are actually hearts. I thought they were dots. They're hearts. And then I had this big bag here of some more kind of remnants. So we have like some laces. I have tons of laces, but I just grabbed a bag. So I'm gonna just need to use some of this stuff. And these are like laces and trims that I can put on the pages as well. Let's look. And I love these. I love these little pom-pom things. I was so lucky to find some of these. So I may use some of these on the pages, or maybe even on the cover. So just tons and tons of stuff that we can use in the book. So I'll probably just start with these first. And I also have like some binding trim. So we'll see. We'll pull things out as we need them. So let's go back to the pages themselves. Forgot I had some ribbons and lace that I pulled out too. And I was thinking this was a maroon, but I pulled out a brown. And this is more of like a maroon color with some florals on it. And then also a little bit of lace. So we'll use some of that also. What I did do is I wanted to measure the book. So I just took like one side of the book. So if you folded it, I'm going to measure from here to here to see how long it is. So it is about 6 inches long. And so I want my pages to be a little bit shorter than the 6 inches. So if I open it up, and I'll probably make, I don't even think that was right. No, it's like more like 5 7/4. So I'll probably make the pages so that they won't be more than like 5.5 inches. Because once you put the pages in, everything kind of shifts a little bit when the book is open and closed. So you don't want your pages to come all the way to the end where you're making it. You want to kind of back them out, if that makes sense a little bit. So I'm going to do mine at probably like about right here, which is about right here. So it's going to leave a little bit left over. But if you do go over, don't worry. Remember, you can always fix things. So let's go back to the papers here. So we know, I already know that the book is 9 and 1/4 inches high. And then we said we want our pages, I'll write this down too so I won't forget. So we'll probably want our pages not to be more than 9 inches high and the width to be 5.5. So if you write it down, you won't forget. So I know I have plenty of paper for these, so I can cut these down if I wanted to. And I think I am going to use like all of these in there. But you have to be careful how many pages you are. I think I'm just going to put 2 signatures in as well, but we'll see how that goes. So I'm definitely going to use this. So if we fold this over, it'll be a little bit more than 5.5. So what about this way? Once I get a few of these pages done, I won't have to measure so much. Let's get the book back. See, this will probably have to be cut down this way a little bit, and it's gonna be a little long as well, but that's okay. All right, so we'll use this page. All right, so I'm probably gonna do about 7 pages, so we'll use that, and we'll use some of this. Actually, I think this is packing paper, which is fine as well. All right, that's 3. I'm just kind of grabbing here. We'll use one of these. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I want one of these pages in there. That's 5. And I would love to use some of my Mickey pages, but I want to make sure that we can see Mickey in here. So maybe I'll Frankenstein a few pages together, a few short pages together. Well, I'll use the sewing machine. I'll show you how I'm going to do that. But of course, you don't have to Frankenstein your paper. You can actually just put it in and so you don't have to Frankenstein it. So I have 1. This counts as 1 page. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I'm going to put one of these, which kind of counts as 7. Let's make it 8, because you know what? I didn't put my music pages in there, and I want a music page. I didn't even use an original page. Uh-oh, see? This is, I'm going to pull out more than I need, and then I can always take things out, I'm sure. That's a weird kind of picture, huh? But it looks like, you know, somebody laying down, but he's actually jumping off of a boat. I'm going to use one of those. And music page. And these were held together by some rusty staplers. Or staples. So let's take those off. Now I was going to do this as a sped up video, but it's just a lot of little details in this piece of the puzzle. So this is going to be one signature. So what I'm going to do is just work on one signature with you all, and then I'll show you the other signatures as we get them done. And I think I would like to use one piece of cardstock also. I'm going to use this one because I've really been eyeballing this one. I'm going to use that. Okay, so let's prepare this one. All right, so we have everything that we need. And so again, we need this to just be 5.5. And this is 12, so we'll have like I could do it so we'll have like a little bit of an overhang and then just fold it over, but it's almost not worth it doing it that way. So I'm gonna cut this down. Let's get the paper cutter out. And we're gonna cut these down. Okay. So, and I want this to be at the bottom of the page. So we want to make sure that we keep that. So if we want this to be 5.5, remember we have to double that by 2. So then it's going to be 11 inches. So we want this to be 11 inches. First, let me take this little piece off of here because we don't need that piece. It's taking up too much space. but we're going to keep it because we can use that for something else. All right, so 11 inches. And we'll keep that as well. And then this is going to be 9 1/4. Okay, and then let's fold it over. And I used a little lip on here on the, man, I can't talk today. I'm gonna use the little lip on the paper cutter to make sure that it's all over, pulled over nicely, or you know, they match up, the ends match up. Good Lord. Good Lord. Okay, so that's going to be a page. So let's just test things out. Sorry, I keep talking away from the camera as I'm reaching. So yeah, that would be fantastic. I still may have to cut it down a little bit, but it's probably leaving a little bit of a lip here. And that's what I want it to do. Even though things are going to be hanging all out, it's really not going to be an issue. All right, so now this one also, we want this to be 11 inches. Oh, this one actually already has the middle in it, so I'm going to do this at 5 1/2. I don't have my glasses on, so I'm kind of winging it. Here. Okay, 5 1/2. We'll keep the scraps, and then I think I'm just going to, so this part just needs to be 9 1/4 inches. So I'm going to just cut the, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut part of the bottom and part of the top off. How about that? Make it a little even. 9 1/4. Oh, we don't want it to be 9 1/4 anyway. I think I need to cut a little bit more off the other top. I want it to be more like 9 inches. Let's cut a little bit more off of this because I didn't think about this. I don't want it to be exactly as tall as the book. I want it to be a little less. All right, there we go. Next. This was the original book pages, so I don't have to do anything to that because the signature is already together. Should be the right size. This one, I don't think I'll have to do anything. I'm just going to fold it because it's going to be like a small page. Use my bone folder to give it a good creasing here. Okay, and then we have the Mickey Mouse one and this page here. So I'm actually going to kind of Frankenstein these together with my sewing machine. So I'm just going to hold tight on these two papers for the moment. And then this one, we're gonna cut the rough edge off here. Although I kind of like the rough edges. We want it to be 9 inches tall. And we're going to do this at about, it needs to be 11 inches long. And fold. Okay. Using my bone folder. Alright, this one already has a fold in it, so we're gonna just let that fold stay in there naturally. But we need this to be 5 1/2 inches. what I think I'm gonna do with this one, I don't think it's sturdy enough to make a pocket at the bottom. So I was thinking about putting it up like this. But no, I don't want to do that. So I'm gonna do it this way. At our 9-inch mark. I love this that it has like the lines going all the way across so I can really line things up. And then this page here, again, I thought about, since it's already folded, let's just cut it here at 5.5. Not really thinking too much into it. You can see it's really easy to cut your pages. It's really easy to be intimidated also. Very easy to be intimidated by the pages in the junk journal overall, but you can never make a mess when you're doing a project like this. It's impossible. Alright, that was just a scrap that I had. And I like the pages to be all different sizes. So that's kind of cool. This way 11. And I think I have to knock a little bit off of the top of this. Alright, and fold it. It's much easier to get this straight when you have edge to do it against. Alright, so that's all of these pages. So next, so we're gonna go ahead and let's fix that. Let's Frankenstein that one page. And not exactly sure how I want to do this. Put this on top so I can see. I know I'm gonna have to cut quite a bit off. I just want to make sure that I get these guys in here and try to do it. I'm eyeballing it. That's like I always do. Let's see. We're going to put this on a zigzag stitch. Alright. And I did back stitch on it because I don't want it to come apart while I'm using the book. There are some simpler ways that you can do this. You can actually use washi tape and put things together. But I wanted to sew mine. Alright, so I think that's all we need. Oh, actually, we ran out of bobbin at the end. So how much bobbin? Wasn't that much. And we're going to cut some of it off anyway. So I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, so this is what we have left. And I'm going to cut this. Let's cut. We're gonna have to fold it before we cut it. Actually, I wanted to do another stitch, but my sewing machine ran out of it ran out of thread. Alright, so what I'm gonna do, let me think about this for 1 second here, is because I want to keep as much as this, but I think I can just do it like a fold over. So if we do this like at about 5.5, we'll say like around here is where we're going to fold it. I'm just eyeballing it. I could use my scoreboard. You can use a scoreboard and get this exactly how you want it. And this should be, that's like 5 inches. Should have did just a little bit more. And I don't care about the bends in the pages. It's not a deal breaker for me. So, all right. So that's going to be good for me. All right, and then that way we can keep most of this instead of like taking it off. We can make like a fold over of sorts. And you'll see how it all comes together once the book is together. All right, so now I do need to cut some of the length off because this needs to be about 9 inches, so it needs to be about there. So a lot's gonna come off of here. So first I'm just gonna cut this top, and then, so it really didn't do me any good to back stitch. Let me take that off there. And now we'll cut this down to 9 inches. All right, so now we're down to 9. And I know this video is going to be a bit long, but sometimes long is the only way that you can explain things. All right, so now we have our pages for our first signature. Doesn't look like a lot, but remember we're putting 3 signatures in this book. So we have to be careful how much we put in. And I'm just kind of sticking things in for the moment. They may change places, so all I'm doing is just opening things up and sandwiching everything together just to get a feel of how this is going to be. I'm liking the way it's looking. So you can see, like, from the regular book pages that you have, things change with every step that you make. Everything changes the way the book looks, or how you feel about the pages. Like at first it didn't look like, I didn't know about all the pages and stuff, but now it's starting to look like a book. So in case you didn't know, a signature is basically, it's a grouping of pages inside of a book that are sewn together or stapled together. Put this on the outside. Put it on the outside. Okay, so let's get our book and see how that looks. So it's hanging out a little bit. So what I'll probably do is just cut this down just a bit, maybe, I don't know yet. But what I'm going to do is go ahead and get the other signatures together, because I'm going to put 2 more signatures in here, not more than 4. So again, I wouldn't put too many pages in there. So I'll be back after I put those together. 3 signatures, and again, it doesn't look like much, but you can see how things are starting to come along now. And I already know I'm going to have to cut some of the edge off here. It's still too long. And that's why it's important to test things as you go. And it's not that big of a deal. So here's the first signature here. And I may change the order, the way the signatures are in the order of the papers. But you can see I have a fold out there. We have just some writing paper. And then it's just envelope in the middle. And what I did also was I cut the bottom of the envelope off, so you'll be able to, well, I'll be able to reach in there. And then it's just the back sides of each of those pages. And then the next signature, this is one from the original book, which I really like. And different size papers, I love putting different size papers in. And this is where we Frankenstein the page for this one, so you can see on the front and the back. And I had to do a refold on here, so again, the bends don't bother me. And oops, and then we have like a scrap paper there. And envelope in the middle. It's a pretty envelope, isn't it? All right, and then next signature. I always feel like I have to rush. I need to slow down. And then an envelope in the middle. Alright, so that's the 3 signatures. But now they still need to be cut down, and I've already measured. But what I did was I took my book and I put all 3 signatures in, and I made sure they were all the way back to our spine here. You can see them in there, and you can see we have quite a bit of overhang left. So even though I cut them shorter, it still wasn't short enough, and that's okay, and that's kind of perfect because now we can get them all the same length if that's an issue for you. It's not really an issue for me, but I'm going to cut them so they'll be the same length, only because I'm just cutting them all at one time. So you'll need a cutting board for this if you do it the way that I'm doing it. You're going to need a ruler that has a metal piece on this side, but it's not required. And also I have a box cutter, but you can use an X-Acto knife also. But I'm going to use a box cutter. Hopefully my box cutter is sharp enough. And so I'm just using my mat. It has, move it up, so it has some measurements here at the bottom. So I'm going to put it down to the bottom, just so I know where, like that. It doesn't have to be at the bottom, but I just want to know where that half of a half inch is going to be, because I'm going to do it at a 1/2 inch. So this is the end. So I'm just putting up against this line right here. Now I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to go back a 1/2 inch. It's crooked. I hope y'all can see. And just try to make sure that the ruler is straight as well. So this is a great ruler because it has lines on it, all like grid lines, so you can kind of see how things are. Then you just have to make sure you hold things tight. And the trick to making this work is to kind of lightly score it, and then you'll just go over it a few times and make sure that you really hold your ruler tight so it doesn't move. So you don't have to go through it all at the same time. And ta-ta! It's a nice straight line. Alright, so let's go back to the book here. And if we put it in here now, it's not hanging over, which is perfect. So let's do the other ones. And I think I can safely do it on camera. And if you had some paper that's folded, you want to make sure that you don't cut into those folds. And it doesn't have to be perfect, of course. Do that again. Just make sure this line is right where I need it to be. I'm going to go a 1/2 inch back with my metal part on that side and hold it down really good. Because what happens when you start putting papers in as well is the papers that are in the middle are going to sit out more than the papers that are on the end. Okay, so that's good. And the last one. So you can see at first you may think, oh no, we've messed that up, but no, we didn't. It's not messed up at all, because everything can be fixed in the junk journal world. Just be careful not to hurt yourself. I have some paper in here that doesn't want to cut good. I know what paper that is too. That's okay. It's not sewn in yet either, so if I wanted to replace, look at that. That is the writing paper, because that paper is really thin. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to get cutting board out and just recut that paper a little bit shorter to save it. See, nothing's messed up. Doesn't have to be perfect. All right, and then I can go back in. So, and because that paper is kind of thin, we'll do some things to it to just kind of make it more sturdy in the book. All right, we'll just stick this in place because we'll most likely be moving the pages around. So now we have our 3 signatures that are not sewn in. Our signatures, remember, are a grouping of pages that are either stapled or they are sewn in. So now, you can see, now they're not hanging over the edge. They're not hanging over the edge of the top, bottom. They look fantastic. Ooh, this book is coming together. I'm excited to start using this. All right, so I'm not going to embellish the edges in this video. We'll do it in the next video because we're already gone long already. So if these are the type of videos that you like and you want to see the rest of the series, well, you can see it even if you're not subscribed, but you should subscribe. And also make sure you hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when more videos like this one come out. And that is it. So with that, I'm going to say love, peace, and hair grease from your sweet Lotus Blossom and lovable Lizzie. Have a fantabulous day and enjoy life.